Leafs talk. Sam McKee and Justin Cuthbert tonight. A fan pregame show on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, on Sportsnet Television. Guy that comes in right after me when we leave Real Kipper and Born. We get to see his lovely face every single day on our tube, and I get to see it up close and personal every day. So I'm just really happy to have you here. Rotating cast of characters when JD Bunkus is off, but a similar result. Leafs lose. So yeah, how are you, bud? Nice to see you.
Yeah, I'm good. I mean, I get exasperated, Sammy and Kipper and Bourne, like the end of a 2-hour radio show, which is also on television. Like you're a little beat down after, and it's been a beat down of a Leaf season.
Yes.
So I get it again tonight. A rare Sunday exasperated Sammy, although I get him on Saturdays most often too, given this Leaf season.
Yeah, I would say that Sunday is not a hockey night. You know, we should all be just sitting on our couch watching the Ravens and the Patriots or whatever the Sunday night is. It's not a hockey night. So Leafs lose 5-1 to the Dallas Stars. And, you know, the broadcast talking about they looked better and, you know, they got goalied a little bit and Hildeby wasn't great. But at the end of the day, the result is the result. They have now lost 4 of their last 5. I believe they are Columbus lost to Anaheim last night. So they're still in second last in the Eastern Conference. On this road trip in 3 games, your 2 highest played players in Austin Matthews and William Nylander, no goals, correct? None of them, they didn't score on any of the games, and they are -7 combined. So a 0-goal -7 for both of them, -14 combined for the Stars of the Toronto Maple Leafs. So there's a recipe for this team to win, and that is certainly not it, Justin. A pretty brutal road trip by the Leafs' 2 best players.
Yeah, I mean, in the totality, like it's really easy to be really negative and really look at this as, you know, like the not the start of a disaster season, but the worst point of a season that is clearly going off the rails. This has been an awful road trip. This has been an awful ride here for the Maple Leafs as of late. But if you remove the context of previous games, previous failures, like this was not an offensive loss. Like if you could just remove it from everything else, it's like, wow, they played pretty well. Like this is a scheduled loss, Sammy. Like second night of the back-to-back in Dallas on the road is really, really difficult. And they outplayed the Dallas Stars for the majority of this game. But like you needed something so badly, and it removes the possibility with 1 game left ahead of the holiday freeze to actually feel reasonably decent about yourself and your game heading into the holiday freeze.
Yeah.
Because they got 1 game left against Pittsburgh. You can win it, I guess. Like that gives you a modicum of like happiness going in or settles things down. But every time you lose a game now, it's worth more than a correspondent win. Because they're just losing ground, and it is so difficult to actually make up that ground. So it is certainly compounding. This is a compounding issue. This is going off the rails. This is bad. But if it was supposed to look like a mutiny tonight, Sammy, I don't think it did. And I think a lot of people were bracing themselves for, okay, this is the chance to quit and get what you want. It didn't look like that tonight.
That's honestly an awesome point. And like if the Leafs were in second in the Atlantic Division and, you know, were playing well for the season and had won last night in Nashville and had this game tonight, I would honestly come on here and talk about a lot of positives. I would be like, you know what? Like there's many different guys that I thought Matthews had a bit of pop tonight. You know, I thought Laughton was skating well. I thought Tavares had a little bit of jump to his game. The power play looked better. There's all these things that are somewhat, you know, better than it's been, but I guess we're just grading on a scale of what we've been watching. And for them to control the play against anyone, let alone the Dallas Stars in the second half of back-to-back, it's a huge change. For them to outshoot the Stars is a stunning result. But for me, you mentioned something in there, a team that really needs it. This is a game that the Leafs absolutely had to have, right? Like you were talking about, just to try to get something going in the right direction, coaching questions, all this stuff. They are an absolutely desperate team. And you know who is not desperate? The Dallas Stars. This is a Sunday night game against an out-of-conference team where they gave, what would you conservatively say their effort was tonight? The B effort at best, like the C plus. I'll give them a B plus maybe, but they were not even close to on their game. Like I've watched this team play when they are humming. I mean, they just beat the Ducks 8-3. Like they are a really, really good team. And I thought they kind of thought that they could cruise through this, rely on their goaltending a little bit and win it. And that's what happened. So yeah, the Leafs played well, but I didn't think the Stars had their A game. And I just think that they were the much less desperate team, but they still found a way to win. Is that being too harsh?
No, I mean, I think it's completely fair. I think Dallas Stars didn't look like a Stanley Cup contender tonight.
No.
Like, I don't think anyone is going to conflate those things with what a real Dallas Stars performance looks like. Yeah, they're probably in holiday mode. They're probably getting the start on things, and they have the luxury, unlike the Toronto Maple Leafs, of like, yeah, maybe having a good 10 days as opposed to a good 3 days because they're in a great position. But their B effort, their B- effort was enough. And when you have a goaltender like Jake Ottinger, who frankly has been doing this all season for the Dallas Stars. I mean, you look at their numbers under the hood, they're not great. Like if you look at the shot share stuff and you get whatever, if you really want to do it, you can, and they're not good. They don't register well, but they have a goaltender who's one of the very best in the league. They have an elite save percentage. They have an elite shooting percentage, and they can win these games where they're maybe, spending a lot of time leading the game and score effects take over, whatever. Like that all happens because you're in that position where you have skilled offensive players who put the puck in the net, especially on the power play, and you have a goaltender that doesn't give up anything easy. And yeah, the Maple Leafs, who are not a good offensive team anymore, just flat out, like they're just not a good offensive team anymore. If they go shot for shot, chance for chance against Dallas, they're going to lose. And they had a little more of it tonight, but they're still lost because Jake Ottinger had more than Dennis Hildeby, and the guys who would be considered elite level finishers for Dallas were able to get a couple, and then they got a couple good bounces, and that's really the difference. Like it reminded me of like, are you European football? Are you a Chelsea?
Yeah, I like soccer. Yeah,
so
soccer,
let's say it's Chelsea and Burnley. And Burnley's inspired. Like they're playing well. Christmas party for Chelsea the other night. Burnley's just running. They're just owning the play. But Burnley in 70 good minutes, I don't know, maybe they produce a goal. But Chelsea in 20 good minutes, they got 3. And that's the difference. That's the difference.
Ouch. Chelsea, Leafs as Burnley comparison is not the one that I wanted.
Season, Sam. It's a Burnley season.
It really is a Burnley season right now. They're fighting to stay out of the relegation zone in a hurry, and it's not going so well. But yeah, I think a lot of what you said there is great. And I used to have this joke on the show. Me and JD Bunkus used to have this joke on the show that we've never seen Jake Ottinger have a good game because the Leafs always light up Jake Ottinger. Every time the Leafs play Jake Ottinger, for some reason, like I think this is the Leafs' first loss in that building in 7 tries, if I'm not mistaken. Like they at least have had a ton of success in that building, and it was one of my favorite jokes to say that I've never seen him have a good game, and he was brilliant tonight. Like, I thought he was all world. Yeah, he was all world, and I would much prefer the American start Hellebuck in big games than that guy because I think he really has he's a pretty scary goalie. I thought he was excellent tonight. So yeah, moving on to a couple other quick things that I wanted to bring up here. So now is that 11 or 12 straight games without a goal for Willie?
It's at least 10 in the month of December.
11. I think it's 11, if I'm not mistaken.
I think that's fair. It's a good guess.
10 or 11, regardless, it's long.
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him?
I don't know, man. Like clearly there's been some things like the illness, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Is he leading the mutiny charge? If there's anyone who's most aggrieved by the current situation between, or the current dynamic between players and coach, is it him? Maybe, but this is like an immensely talented offensive player. And again, like he's at games where it's like complete no-show, right?
Yeah.
In the month of December, I think he's on 4 assists, no goals, clearly with, 10 in a row without one. Yeah. But there's just like, there are nights where he's not producing what we're seeing right now, which is a variety of decent chances.
Yeah.
So, on the best Willie night, does he take 2 of these, 4, 5, 6, whatever we're seeing? Yeah, that's exactly what happens. And like, could it just be that it's Jake Ottinger? I'm not sure, but I mean, we've seen like this happen a couple times in a row now. It's either a really poor, awful game for Nylander, or it's, hey, he had some splashes and it just didn't go in. And I don't know if you can connect those two, because other than the fact that he's on a streak where he's not scoring, they are unrelated. But he just feels like the guy who right now, with a diminished Matthews, a diminished Tavares, and nothing really else going on, it has to be him. Yeah. And it's not him right now. He's an up and down guy. He has moments where it's great, moments where it's not great, months that are awesome, months that are pretty poor. It's a really, really, really poor month right now. And I think it's a variety of things, probably coach, personal performance, that illness that's lingering, and just some bad luck, but it's all not working for Nylander right now. Yeah.
So what you said there is that he definitely does have moments of brilliance. And this is me, I do think there's a part of him that there is some frustration with where they're at And we've seen him be a pretty fiery guy when it comes to them losing. And we've seen some of the mic'd up stuff where he, yelling at Marner, not Junior, or whatever he was saying to him and all the, but I think he is not reserved to where the Leafs are in the standings, but I think he's having a hard time getting up for a lot of these games in terms of where they're at in the standing. I mean, this is not excusing him. I mean, he makes however much money he makes now, $11.5 million. You should be able to inspire yourself a lot. But I think the inconsistent performances are going to a guy for me that just not locked in all the time. And I thought he was better tonight. Like you said, he had a breakaway. I mean, when's the last time he had a breakaway? I know it's
so time not so long ago. We get a breakaway every game,
every night. I know it's just like very anecdotal and obtuse to say that he's just not locked in, but it just feels like there's certain nights, and they had that power play, and he's done this a few times over this goalless stretch where they've had some zone time, and he's just got the puck on the stick, and he just fires not a muffin, but just a no chance shot from the top of the circle after they've been passing it around or whatever. He's just really needs one to go in here to maybe get himself back on track. But yeah, Luke says right to the chest. He tested Ottinger's chest on that last shot there on one of the power plays. But like, if for example, we're gonna get to the Berube part of this, I'm sure. But if we wake up to a notification tomorrow or in the next week or two that after Christmas, I think a big part of Craig Berube's beef over this stretch of time will be with William Nylander. And not that he got him fired or whatever, but like having a guy that makes $11.5 million who you've been, putting up and down on the top line, putting him like, treating him like the player that he is. He's been getting the ice time. They bumped him down to the third line, but then he played the most he's played all year in that game.
And he was awesome.
He was awesome.
It was only good game this month, really.
Yeah, only good. And I was at that game. He was electrifying live that night. He was just vintage William Nylander when he's on his game. But I think when Berube, if he looks back on this after whatever happens, this stretch of hockey may cost the coach his job because they need more from Willie. They need production. That's how this baby's built. Like, I know they filled out the bottom half of the lineup with more guys that make a little bit more money and are supposed to produce a bit more. But at its core, they need him to score, and it's just not going in. Him and Matthews. I know Matthews has had points and had goals in the last 4 or 5 games, but these two guys will be on the sort of the front page of the reasons why it's gone south.
Well, you're right. Like, William Nylander doesn't have to, just by his responsibility on the team, he doesn't have to wear it as much as Austin Matthews has to wear these failures, right? Like Matthews, it is his job. Talk about what happened. Try to be in lockstep with your head coach, with your post-game comments as this builds and builds and builds and becomes more pressurized on these guys. William Nylander can, throw on the baggy pants after the shower and really not really deal with it, right? Like he can get away with it. And he is getting away with it because, that's Willie a little bit more than Matthews is right now. But those are the responsibilities being captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I think we may have hit on something there, though. And the time not too long ago when he had a breakaway every single night. Like, if we're trying to find reasons why this group is incompatible with coach or this group doesn't believe in coach, is it something as simple as, hey, William Nylander's a guy who's supposed to be playing a little freely, right? And take a chance here and there. And if he's constantly being told defensive responsibility first or whatever you're supposed to be doing instead of thinking of offense, and the team's losing and he knows this is a lost season, I could see him being the guy that'd be like, no, like this isn't working. I'm disinterested. I'm William Nylander. Like, I could see that happening, right? So maybe the tools are being taken away a little bit from him. Maybe the crux of the coach versus players issue would center around William Nylander. I think it would make sense given personalities, his skill set, what we've seen in terms of their on ice issues or arguments that play out in front of everybody. Like, that all makes sense to me, but I think it's a give and take both ways. Like, if things were going well, give and take would be natural, but Willie's got to concede some things. And Craig Berube's got to concede some things because, as we mentioned, this is a bad offensive team that needs William Nylander to be in positions to score. And for whatever reasons he's not, I'm sure a lot are connected to Willie himself, but I think a lot is due to the coaching staff as well.
100%. Well said. Next thing I want to bring up is I think Matthias Machelli is one of this team's best 12 forwards. Is that a fair thing to say?
I mean, I was thinking like his only job is to be more valuable than Nick Robertson. Is it not? And to this point, he hasn't been able to prove that.
or Yarncroc or
but like at least
whatever
Yarncroc
the
gave you
mix
something
they
that
put at the
Berube
bottom.
might like. These are two guys who are their only job secondary scoring. So
Yeah.
it like provides something from the depths of the lineup, from power play too, from just not the normal dudes.
Yeah.
And Nick Robertson hasn't been able to do it. And Matthias Machelli has less opportunity. NHL.com's down, so I can't even like load up the actual stats for tonight. But until it went down, like it was a really good night for Tavares, Nylander, Machelli in terms of their numbers and what they were doing out there.
Yeah,
and again, it was a pretty good night for everybody.
Yeah.
But this was clearly the most noticeable. Well, Machelli's been. You haven't been able to see Machelli lately, but one of the more noticeable games from him.
Live stream on the press box.
Yeah. Oh, we've had some press box commentary this year, so we could engage in that as well. But you know, it was one of his more noticeable games, and there've been few and far between. But like he was in my measurement. Are you better than Nick Robertson tonight? Then I'd like to see you next game.
Yeah, I just I think it's a detriment to what this team's look like, but I do think that he adds an element. Like at least he can snap a pass. Like there's something that Kipper's been bringing up on our show for the whole time we've been doing it, is that they're not a very good passing team. And then they lose their best passer in the offseason. And it just feels like they don't pass the puck very well every night. Like you watch Dallas snap it around on their power play. Like, oh my God, they're playing a different sport than the Leafs are playing. But putting Machelli in there, like I can't believe I'm dying on the hill of Machelli, but I mean, I'd rather see Machelli in there than Yarncroc, skate really fast every night and try to run into somebody and pretend to be defensively responsible. Like, God, I don't know. At least you can put Machelli out there in the power play and he can set somebody up or do something. I don't know. I don't think he deserved to sit for the whole month of December. That's where I'm at. I thought he was good last night in Nashville too. He sets up one of the goals. Like I thought he was noticeable. He gets the second straight start. I would hope he plays against the Penguins on like we're talking about the last place team here. So it's like not like it's going to change anything about their outlook, but just play the guy that's going to give you a chance to set something up or score a goal or look any dangerous at all. Like you said, they can't score. Have a guy in there that can set something up. I don't know. It's like I don't need to see Yarncroc anymore.
No.
Send him to Brenus. Like end it. God.
He's also so like Machelli is so representative of how far this team has fallen from an offensive talent standpoint, though. Like I know he's a talented hockey player. Like clearly that's why he's at this level. He's small. He doesn't offer much other than, wow, he's got some puck skills and maybe he can make something happen in the offensive zone. But like that was never supposed to be an issue with this team. I know they got really reductive in the later Dubas era when it was just like, oh, we have our scorers and we have the guys that are supposed to break even. And then, as long as our scorers are better than their scorers, we'll be fine. And that was like, their plan. And it was not a very good plan because you need more utility than that. But clearly they've gotten to the point where, they have a little bit more of a dispersed skill as a collective. Like, I like Nick Waugh and I like Scott Laughton. I want to ask you about Scott Laughton, but they have a little bit more utility at the bottom. It's just now, and it's very ironic, the top is what's letting, like, they can't score. And if Machelli's a part of that, then he's a part of the problem, I suppose. But I guess he gets to be at an arm's length like Robertson because, they're not everyday guys. And I guess, they're both going to be in this constant battle to try and be mainstays with this roster, but frankly, neither of them are good enough to give like routine and regular offensive contribution.
Before we move to Laughton, because I wanted to bring it up. Christian just put in the chat. We're waiting on a little bit more context to this quote, but from William Nylander. I don't know if I've felt like this before. You know what, brother?
We need a little extra context.
I'm going to go ahead and totally agree with if it's talking about this team. I've felt this before in my life watching the Leafs. There's been some grim years watching the Toronto Maple Leafs in my life, but since this era started, I've never felt like this before, right? Like we talked about it last night with Guns. This is by far the darkest it's ever been. So that's a pretty dark quote. We need some more context on that. Would appreciate it. But that's a pretty funny line from Nylander. Boy.
Yeah. I mean, if it's personal, it's not good, right? Like his personal game, because we know, like it's well documented. Austin Matthews, we know he's not the same dude right now. Maybe he can be in the future. Who knows? They got a whole sports science staff there. I'm sure they know that this is a diminished asset at current moment.
Yeah.
John Tavares, aging curve, like clearly he's on the decline. If William Nylander, like, it can't be prime William Nylander, can't be a guy who feels good about his game, then yeah, the entirety of the guys who are supposed to be difference makers with your group are diminished, are worse than they should be, are chasing something that's not there, then you have no chance.
No
Like
chance.
there's nothing else to draw on. There's not an elite goaltender to draw on. There's not a blue line that's going to create from the back to draw on. There's not dominance with the bottom six. Like it's better, but it's not something that moves the needle. Like the only way they can win games is if those three guys can provide elite level offense. And if they're all not feeling like this, or they're feeling like this for the first time in their life, or whatever it may be, they got no shot.
Other than that, everything's great. Laughton.
Okay, Laughton. Let me give you Laughton.
How are you on the play more guy? Are you play more guy?
Scott Laughton should be the left winger for John Tavares guy.
Totally.
Like I feel like I've been totally gaslit into believing that all he can do is play 11 minutes as a fourth line center. And that the real strength of the team, the spine, Austin Matthews, John Tavares, Nick Waugh, Scott Laughton. Laughton is what makes you special because he is better than a fourth line center. So why don't you deploy him as such? He's got so much more to offer. Like the best moments this month have been Scott Laughton's. And I feel like maybe you don't want to play him 18 minutes, but how is he not at a regular shift yet with John Tavares? Like I feel like he can bring something out of a second line. He doesn't need to play fourth line center.
Like, I mean, if you're Scott Laughton and you're watching what Max Domi's contributions have been to this hockey team this year, and for him to go straight from the press box right to the top line, or you're seeing Easton Cowan that was playing on the top line with Matthews and gets put in the press box the next night, and you're still just fourth line center guy, you got to be sitting there being like, all right, I want to be on the first train out of here. This coach doesn't like me. Like I just, they've never done it. And what it obviously has to be something with him and Berube. Berube had him as a young guy in Philly, right? Like that was I mean, that would have been when he was close to a rookie. He was really young when that was on. Maybe he grew, maybe he had some preconceived notions about him in terms of the relationship between, like, I'm not reporting this or bringing it up. I'm just looking for reasons why this guy hasn't been elevated off the fourth line. Like after everything this team's been through, they're the worst team in the league. I'm sorry, in the East. And they feel like the worst team in the league. Boy, watching them every night. But you're not going to just give it a go? Give it a shot. What could go wrong? Oh no, you're going to be in last? Like try it, man.
It's infuriating. It's Babcock-esque.
It is.
I'm holding a grudge. I don't like you for whatever reason.
Yes.
So you know what? I don't even like that we acquired you. Yeah. I'm protesting Brad Treliving's decision to send a first round pick away for you. This is your job. I only want 11 minutes from you. And they might be the best 11 minutes we get out of any line, but that's all I want from you, Scott Laughton. Like that's all I want. And even just to throw him up there to try to increase trade value, he's got a price that is cut in half. He's one of the cheaper potential like middle six options on the market in terms of guys who could fit into virtually any cap situation. Put him up there to score a couple goals and try to get not your first round pick back. Maybe you could package a few things and he could be a part of a package that brings back what he, what he came over for. But like he's not wowing anyone. Well, he's wowing us to a certain extent, but he's not getting anyone's attention with his 11 minutes and his meager contributions. Like, and I don't even want to say it like that because he could give a lot more. Like, it's so frustrating to see him just kind of toiling away, just wasting away in fourth line duty.
It's really weird. All right. Ref talk.
Okay.
I added some Willie context with losing. I don't know if I felt like this before. I'm not sure. I don't think I've felt like I've had that in the NHL at least. Okay.
Yeah. So you've been a part of mainly good teams, Willie.
Yeah. Yep. So I thought this was a horrifically officiated hockey game. I thought that it was just dreadful, and the Leafs have a major beef on the first goal. Like I don't know how you do not call Jason Robertson head or butt ending McCabe in the mouth on his way by before going in to score a goal. I thought that was an insane no call. I thought the call they had, the one on Machelli was brutal. The Robertson one was a cheap one. Who did Riley bury behind the net on the power play already? Buried him behind the net. There was a dive by Robertson. I mean, it doesn't matter. Leafs lose, doesn't make a difference in the game. But this was the same crew as last night they were mentioning on the broadcast. So,
which is weird.
Very weird. Maybe they're just tired.
What are you on the back of the plane? Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a very weird thing. Maybe they're just tired. Didn't wanted to, I've had some ASHL refs that just want the game to end. Maybe they just want to go home, right? I don't know. I thought it was really bad. So that's my ref talk. I haven't been doing much ref talk this year.
It always seems to get awful once you execute the makeup call. Like
a bit of a dive there if I'm watching that on Sportsnet Plus there.
100%. 100%. Like the first call was that Robertson.
Yeah,
like that. I think they were on the power play at that time.
Yeah,
too.
they were.
But then you start. If you're a referee, I'm imagining you're just like micro-analyzing every decision that you're making because you made one bad call, then you overextended on the next, and everyone's like, "Wow, they just did that thing that they always do." Like if I could eliminate anything from the game, and it's like I guess it's like somewhat abstract, but like just own the mistake, no makeup calls. Because once you start throwing around makeup calls, it all goes to crap. And it did. Like they didn't call things that were, they called things that weren't. Like it completely loses the plot. But you're right with the Robertson McCabe thing. It was kind of like, offense, defensive pass interference. Like they're both battling, hand fighting, whatever it was. And the offensive guy clearly got away with one and scores a touchdown. Like that's exactly what it was. Yeah. Like it's harder being the defensive back in that sense, and that's probably the genesis of the referee issues, but I think that it really went south with the makeup call.
I can't believe they overturned that offside. If that's called a goal on the ice and they looked at that, and I'm sitting there squinting, I got my big screen TV. I don't know. I mean, I got a really big TV.
Like, are you drawing a line between the edge of the skate blade and the blue line? Like,
for it
it's
to
up
be
in the air, right?
For it to be conclusive, for them to overturn it to bring back a goal, I could not believe they did it. Good for Sam Kim. Actually,
good for Max Domi. We barely saw a replay of the turnover, which was egregious because we saw the skate from Rope Hintz 14 times. Like Domi got away with one there.
Yeah, I mean, he's turned it over literally 1,000 times this year, so that's old hat for him. I don't think it would have registered as his top 5 worst ones this year. But they mentioned, so the offside thing brings me to Sean McKenzie, who was absolutely on fire tonight. But the Sam Kim used to be a mascot report. Oh, did you see that?
No.
You have the in-house?
Yeah, we're doing the radio. So I got backhaul and I got Bonesy. Bonesy.
So they did. Sam Kim, they showed Sam Kim. What's the other guy's name? Jordan Bean.
Jordan Bean, yeah.
They showed a picture of them at the outdoor game in Hamilton when they played Buffalo. They were together. And then the next slide was Sam Kim, who used to be the Islanders mascot. I don't know, it was an amazing report. And then going into the third period. Yeah, there we go. You're watching.
How has Luke Fox not got this expose yet?
Why is the Islander a dragon, by the way? I guess, is it going to be an Islander? I guess it's the fisherman's friend guy, but
that's a Justin Bourne question.
Yeah, I'll ask Bourne that when he comes back from when he's off work tonight and then he's back. I don't know when the hell he's back. Anyways, and then the next thing he brought up going into the third period was the Troy Stetcher posting on Facebook to find Bauer 4500s. And I was just
he needed an Oilers color, right? I read it. Only read.
Yeah. He's like, I'm looking for 4500s in Oilers colors, but apparently he tracked down a bunch. And as if I couldn't love Troy Stetcher anymore, or the Troy's boys, of course he rocks the greatest helmet ever made. The Bauer 4500 is the cream of the crop. I've had one for, I don't know, it's being held together with ASHL stickers and mold, buddy. I've had one for probably.
You're gonna have to get on that Facebook group.
I want them just to they brought back the tax. They brought back old stuff from our youth that, bring back the 4500. Everybody just wants the 4500. So bring it back. It's the best bucket.
I think I bought that helmet maybe 5-6 years ago.
Really?
I don't know if it's a 4500. I'll have to check, but it's a Bauer. It's like that. It doesn't it's. I get the same you see the red crease.
Oh yeah.
I get that. It's a little too tight, but that's. But I'm just dealing with it. I think I got that one.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just got lucky.
Last two things because we gotta go. I've been going too long here. I'm gonna let you go home. Stars jerseys tonight, 10 out of 10.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
Beautiful.
I did jersey talk last night, sports fashion, how bad Nashville needs a rebrand. Stars need to rebrand to these ones full time. That's a perfect jersey.
Like it's
colors.
just weird enough. It's just weird enough. Like it's like if you just saw it for the first time, you'd be like, what's going on here? But there's some historical context and it just looks a little cleaner than it did. And it's not like it's the Star. It's not like going over and like well above like what it should be. It's just not too much. It's not too extra. It's just perfectly done, but it's not boring. So it just found the perfect middle ground.
And last question. Will there be a coaching change before Tuesday?
I don't think so. I think they played too good. Like if it's honestly, which sounds ridiculous, but like
Stars 5, Leafs 1.
They were not protesting with their play tonight. Like I thought that against Nashville at times.
Yeah.
And I've thought that at certain moments on this brutal stretch that they're on, but like they played fairly inspired, I guess, within the context of what it is. Do you think it will be?
At some point, something's got to give.
Picking a good time.
At some point, something absolutely has to give. And I'm not sure if they'll do it. Like, I mean, it's wedged between Craig Berube's 60th birthday and Christmas. It seems like a pretty craven time to do it, but it's professional sports and that's what happens. But I'm not predicting it, but I don't know. At some point here, rubber has to meet the road. They're in last, bud.
You might get half the writers in attendance if you got it done this week.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah,
time for that.
23rd, you know, people are already up at the cottage.
True Living's done the oops. Like, I know it's a long weekend thing, like, but, you know, daughter graduating, like he's done that a few times, right?
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
He's thrown people off the set.
When Pelly was doing the press conference, he was at his daughter's. Maybe just move it, the press conference to the next day so the general manager can be around.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, just get all your ducks in order. Very quickly, though, like,
yes.
They quit for Babcock.
They did.
And they were able to prove that they were good.
Hold on. It
was ugly
it's much, but listen, it's much like tonight. They got absolutely embarrassed on either the Saturday night or the Friday night against Pittsburgh when they lost 7-1.
Yeah, that was a Saturday.
But then they went to Vegas in the next game, which may have been the Monday or the Tuesday, and played great in that game. Played really good. And Nick Patan got robbed by Marc-Andre Fleury with one of the saves of the year, headlong dive looking like Ernie Clement. I remember this, but I don't remember my email password, Justin. But a little bit of...
there are a ton of similarities. Even down to like a decent performance in a lot.
And against a Western Conference team where a guy gets stoned on a breakaway like Matthews did early in this game. I don't know. We'll see.
That's the thing.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think they knew they were good, and they were good, right? They were able to go like 2 wins for 1 loss down the stretch with Sheldon Keefe, and then COVID and everything went obviously haywire. Yeah. But when you're leading a mutiny, you got to be able to prove you're pretty good, and I don't know if they believe that they're pretty good. That's one change from what it was in 2019.
I would agree with that, bud. All right. It's been Leafs Talk. Justin Cuthbert of Fan Pregame fame. So happy you joined us on a Sunday night. Really appreciate it, buddy. Both of our shows are on tomorrow. I'm in for an hour with Kipper, and then you guys are taking over for 2 hours.
Yeah, we're taking one of your hours.
Yeah, Kipper's got a dinner with his dad apparently, and we couldn't make it work. It's Christmas, so
we could have done all 3. But actually, people want to hear from you tomorrow.
So we're gonna do but no Borny tomorrow. So it's me and Kippy. No positive influence. Tomorrow's Leaf Hour could be a little bit dark. And then the schedule update for Leafs Talk. This is our last Leafs Talk, I think, until after January 1st, if I'm not mistaken. Like, I think January 3rd, whatever the Saturday is, we're taking a few games off. And I got to tell you, I need it. I think everybody could use a little bit of a time off. If you're a Leaf fan, just, there's college football, there's NFL football, there's basketball, there's your family, there's outside, there's hikes. There's until the 3rd against the Isles is when we're back. January 3rd against the Isles. Just enjoy other things and just, maybe take a little break, if you want to, watch here and there, but just take a little break because we all could use one.
I think that's sound advice.
Thank you. I don't know if I'll be building my Christmas plans around watching the Toronto Maple Leafs like I usually would, but we'll see. So I appreciate you coming in on a Sunday night, Justin. Staying in, I should say, after doing the intermissions for the Leaf game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan. It's been Leafs Talk. Like us on YouTube and Spotify, and comment on Spotify. I like the little comments on Spotify, even they're mean. I like the little comments on there. So that's good. All right, guys. See you in the new year.